Okay, welcome to my garage, or garage, depending on how posh you are. But for this section, what we're going to do is quickly show you how simple it is to set up a home studio in your garage or any other room in your house. And basically, I'll take you through some of the items that you may need and basically just cost it out to see how little you can set up a home studio for. Now here, as you can see, I've brought everything in. I haven't set it up yet, but this wall here will be my main wall for setting up the backdrop and everything. I've got light coming from this window, which I'm going to black out because that's where the backdrop will be. And then I've got a main window here, which I'll probably use for natural light, that kind of thing. But generally, for a lot of this stuff, I'm going to be using studio lights. I've got some continuous lights here. They're 800 watts, which are pretty bright. And then I've got 3 heads, flash heads, which are 500 watts each. Now, everything I've got here is pretty much everything you'd need, but probably a bit too much for a general, simple setup for a studio. But let's just go through them quickly. As I said, I've got 2 continuous lights here, which I would use for lighting a background to make it pure white, and then use the flash heads to fire in light on the main subject. All these could be used for still life shots. They could be used for modelling shots, anything really. They're just continuous lights. No changing of the output or anything. They're just basically 800 watt lights. They come in quite useful, but you don't need those all the time. I've got them because I do a lot of video work as well. But what other things I've got are these, which are Bowens Esprit flash heads. Now these are 500s, and I think a set of 3 of these with all the stands and everything would cost you about £1,500. I've seen some on eBay, a set of 3 of these with the 3 stands that you've got here. So if you can see these 3 stands, 3 heads, 3 stands with all the cables and a few accessories. I saw on eBay for about £900. Now that is a bargain, and those 3 lights will do you for just about any situation that you need. So look around, look on eBay, look on Amazon, see what you can find. But you only really need 2 of these, in fact. But you know, they do come in sets of 3s. But if you can find a set of just 2 of these with 2 stands for maybe around £600–700, then I think you've got yourself a good deal. So we've got some of these which are flash heads. They are adjustable output, adjustable power output, and you've got modelling lights in there as well. So these are very handy for normal everyday kind of studio photography, whether it's portraits or commercial setups or stock photography or anything where you're using the backdrops. Now what we've also got are brollies. Now I like the luminescent brollies, which is this one, and it basically means that you can just fire through the brolly. If I can get it open, let's have a look. I'm not supposed to open these indoors, but I'm a photographer, so you have to. But with these, the light comes through the outside of the brolly. So I think I've just broken it. Let's have a look. But basically, the light will fire through the brolly, and giving it a much more diffused look, which I really, really love. But on top of that, we've also got a silver brolly, which is more for reflecting. You can see here, it's hardly been used. I don't use it that much. But this one has a silver inside. Can you see that on that camera? So basically, it's got a much more reflective inside, but it gives quite a harsher light, whereas the luminescent brolly gives quite a diffused light. But we probably will use that on occasion just to get some real kind of sparkle, bright lights on the shots. And then my favourite, which is the softbox. This again is like a huge diffuser, which the lights clip onto the back of, and it will fire your light through the softbox. Inside it's got loads of silver foil, which allows the light to completely bounce around and then come out through the huge white luminescent covering. So gives a really nice even light. So really with that setup, for lighting, we've probably got too much. Really, all you need is just 2 heads and 2 stands, 2 flash heads, 2 stands, and maybe 2 soft boxes, I would recommend. Brollies are kind of not necessary anymore now that soft boxes have got so good. Don't worry too much about continuous lights at this point. It's not really necessary unless you're going to do a lot of stock photography with a pure white background. Now that'll mean you need 1 set of lights to blow out the background to make it pure white, and then another set of lights to light whatever subject you're shooting. So just bear that in mind, that you may need 4 lights later on if you intend to do a lot of stock photography. What we've also got here, if you can see on the floor amongst all this rubbish, is I've got some old white sheets that I bought a long time ago. Now this is a huge white sheet, and I'm going to use this just to put a covering on the floor wherever I'm going to be working, wherever I'm going to be laying the backdrops. I've got 2 backdrops in the bag there. They are 3 meters by 6 meters, which means they'll go up to the ceiling, very wide along the wall, and then out and along. I don't want to ruin them, so I've got a ground sheet covering just to protect the underside of the backdrops. There's also a black one in there, the same size, which will go up to the ceiling, all the way down and along the floor. And also included in that pack is a set of stands and a crossbar for the backdrops to hang on to. Now I think the backdrops and the stands came to, let's have a look, I bought those online with 2 backdrops, 2 the stands and the whole back stand and everything came to about £300 I think. So if you're looking to get a full kit, I would suggest looking at maybe 2 or 3 lights for around £1,000, and then say £300 for a backdrop and stands if you're going to be using backdrops. If you're going to be using more natural setups, then obviously you don't need those, but it's probably worth getting because it's nice to have those backdrops to do a lot of studio work, maybe test out some portraits, some isolated images on a pure white background and product shots, all that kind of thing. So that's about £1,300. Then there's a few little accessories like a reflector here, which I find extremely handy. If you didn't want to use flash, what you can actually use is one of these. These are from Light. They make the best ones, I think. And you can see they come in a handy little pack, but once opened, they're quite big. And we've basically got, on this one, a gold side. You can see that lighting the camera nicely. And we've also got a white side, which is slightly less bright. So you can decide what colour lights you want for the image. And then obviously use one of those. They come with other coverings, they come with other backgrounds as well. You can get silver-sided, dual-sided. They come in different sizes. This is quite a good size because it throws quite a lot of light, as you can probably see. But it's great for natural window light shots where you can have someone against the window with the natural light coming through and then just throw in a bit of light behind just to add a bit of warmth with the gold side, or just to fill in the shadows with the white side. Fantastic piece of kit, and I can't remember how much they are, but if you look online, they're all over the place. You can see them on eBay, on Amazon, but try and get hold of one of those because they're great to take on location as well. Apart from that, all you need basically is a tripod, maybe to set your camera up on, and that's pretty much it. To set up a home studio, and you can see we don't need an awful lot of space. If you want to do full length shots, you're going to need maybe, crikey, sort of 15-20 feet. So you can actually get back enough with a 50mm lens or a telephoto lens to actually get the whole person in without distorting them which you would do with a wide angle lens. As long as you've got enough room to set up a backdrop, a few lights, and a table or a chair or something to put the products on, or the things that you're shooting on. So really, that's basically it. You don't need mono lights on the ceiling or anything. This is just a basic kit, and I would say for probably about £1,000 to £1,500 you could get yourself set up with a simple home studio kit. So if you're looking to do that kind of thing, have a look on eBay, have a look on Amazon, shop online because you'll normally get a better deal, but there's no harm in going along to your local photography shop just to see if they've got the sort of kit you can actually get your hands on and have a look to see how they all work. But I hope that's helped with setting up a home studio. If you have got a garage or a spare room in your house, then obviously that's fantastic. You can set up a permanent space and just leave everything set up so that you just walk into the studio and it's ready to go. If you have a temporary room, then obviously all of this is collapsible and can actually fit in quite a small space in the house. So good luck with it. We're going to be using this later on for a lot of shots on other courses. So I'll just get this set up and you can see then what it's like as a completely set up home studio. Okay, so there you can see we've got the studio set up exactly how we want it. Just a simple backdrop. We've got all the lights on at the moment just to show you what we can do, but really we only need the 2 lights. You're probably seeing the softbox there, and I think on this camera you're seeing the umbrella there. I've also got the 2 backlights, which are actually quite handy for backlighting situations, but really all we've got is a simple black backdrop. There's another white one that goes over the top and it comes right out, so it's good for full-length shots, half-length shots, maybe kids playing on the floor. It'll be good for stock, anything we discussed earlier it's good for. But this took about 35 minutes, 45 minutes to set up. It's relatively cheap, and basically once it's done, once it's set up, if you've got a permanent display or a permanent setup, you can actually leave it like this. Just turn the lights off, unplug everything at the end of the day, and you're good to go the next time you come in here. But for now, just wanted to show you how easy it is to set up just a simple studio anywhere in a spare room, spare garage, or any spare space you've got around the house. So basically we'll be using this, like I've said, in the other parts of this section. You've probably seen some already. It's a bit back to front, but this is just a basic, simple setup for a studio.